It's Mr. Caravan. Like Titus. Here, Titus. Say hi to the internet, and then I'll let you down. Okay, here we go. So Titus is a little bit stage shy. Okay, start again. And at the end of our translation, he says, "When my sons are grown up, I would ask you, oh, my friends, to punish them, and to have you trouble them as I've troubled you. And if they seem to care about riches or anything more than about virtue, or if they pretend to be something when they are really nothing, then reprove them as I have reproved you, for not caring about that for which they ought to care, and thinking that they are something when they are really nothing. And if you do this, I and my sons will receive justice at your hands." The hour of departure has arrived, and we go our ways. I to die, and you to live. Which is better? God only knows. I hope you guys enjoyed the apology, and we'll be reading Crito next. Bye.
Do you have a tally?
I do.
Do you swear it is true and accurate?
I so swear.
What is the count?
Against Socrates, 263. For Socrates, 234. 4 abstentions.
Socrates, son of Sophronicus, you stand convicted. The vote is available for inspection. The penalty requested is death. At this time, the convicted has the opportunity to suggest an alternate penalty. The actual penalty will be determined by another vote.
There are many reasons, men of Athens, why I am not grieved at the vote. I expected it. I am surprised it was so close. Had about 30 votes gone over to the other side, I would have been acquitted. My accusers propose death as a penalty. And what shall I propose, men of Athens? What would be a suitable return to a poor man who is your benefactor and who desires leisure so that he can instruct you? There can be no reward more fitting than meals and a pension, a reward he deserves far more than the citizen who's won a chariot race at the Olympiad. Perhaps you think I'm defying you in what I say? This is not so. I speak thus because I'm convinced that I've never intentionally harmed anyone. Why should I then suggest a penalty that would harm me? What shall I say? Imprisonment? Why should I languish in prison? A fine. I would still have to lie in prison because I have no money. Exile. I would be blinded by love of life if I expected that when you, my fellow citizens, cannot stand my words, that strangers would be likely to endure them. There are some who will say, yes, Socrates, but can't you hold your tongue? Then you could go to a foreign city and no one would interfere with you. I'll have trouble making you understand my answer to this. For if I tell you that to hold my tongue would be disobedience to the gods, you wouldn't believe I'm serious. And if I tell you that daily conversation about virtue and the other things I talk about is a great benefit to mankind, you'd be still less likely to believe me. And if I declare that the unexamined life is not worth living, then you would certainly laugh. Yet what I say is so. I'm not accustomed to the thought that I deserve punishment. However, I will propose a fine in proportion to my lack of money. I can afford 1 mina, therefore I propose that amount.
30 minae!
My friends here, Plato, Crito, Critobulus, and Apollodorus, ask me to say 30 minae, and they will guarantee the money. 30 minae!
You will now vote on the penalty. The accusers ask for death. The convicted, if I interpret him correctly, requests a fine of 30 minae, for which his friends will stand surety. Do you have a tally?
I do.
Do you swear it is true and accurate?
I swear.
What is the count?
For death, 340. For the fine, 160. One abstention.
The vote is available for inspection. Socrates, son of Sophronicus, the penalty for the crimes of which you stand convicted is death.
And so the hour of departure has come, and we go our separate ways. I to die and you to live. Which is better? God alone knows.